Hello people, today I have with us the V-33 Stork carrier, and this is a 172 scale plastic kit in the high grade Kyokai Senki series. Now, as you can see, this is in a mecha or a mobile suit. This is a carrier for our M-IMEs, and this one in particular is in the NAC, like the Brady Hounds that I've showed in the past. This one is meant to bring that particular type of mecha onto the field, quickly leave, and provide support if needed. It is rather unique looking. It reminds me of the Osprey that we use in the US military, and it does have a write-up. So let's go ahead and read that. These are high-speed jet helicopters used by the NAC forces to transport M-IMEs, automobile, artificial intelligence mounts. They require one pilot and can carry one person using a spare seat. They are a crucial element in mobile operations where M-IMEs are to be quickly transported onto the battlefield, and they can tow one M-IME under them. Their VTOL, vertical takeoff and landing aircraft, function allows them to transport M-IMEs to various rough terrains, and their wings can move to change the direction of the propulsion for vertical takeoff and landings. They can also release M-IMEs in midair over battlefields to deploy them as airborne troops, or fly over the front line to deploy troops behind enemy forces. Although they are mainly intended for M-IME transport, they can be equipped with Gatling cannons and missiles, enabling them to perform both air-to-ground and air-to-air combat. Now, there are a couple more write-ups on this thing, but first I'm going to go ahead and cover some of the very small amount of articulation that this has. It does have like it said, the wings are movable and you can move them in various positions, as well as the thrusters on these things. So you can take it off in VTOL mode. Looks pretty interesting like that. This one also swivels. So if you wanted it to go faster, you point it backwards. And there is the little missile pod that is right on in here. It's in a terrible position for someone with huge thumbs like I have, and I can't exactly take the wing off without taking the upper structure out of there. So let's open that up. You can see there's one of the rockets. Presumably there would be some sort of mechanism to reload it, but that is what you see there. Same thing goes on the other side. So there's another one on this one. And that is about it for the articulation. Not a lot. Oh, wait. We do have the little chin gun can move up and down. Just a hair. But that is pretty nice. Especially because it's air-to-ground as well as air-to-air. And any other features that this is going to have has to do with the transition between carrier mode and landing mode. So right now it is in landing mode. Of course, it has the landing gear down. With some paint, that would look amazing. But as you see, it is all in one color. It has some nice pads here, and these actually help hold on the M-IME to the unit here. So let's go ahead and transition it to carrier mode. So first you're going to take these guys off. You're going to slide these guys out. There we go. Take these ones off. Very smartly designed, so they're very easy to do. And you're going to put these ones on. And that kind of covers up the spots where the landing gear would be. Just like so. Now, it does hold on decently well, but it's not perfect. In fact, at least this one here will fall off more often than not. I'm not sure why that is. But you see, that is how it looks after you're done with that. And then you're going to use the deployed mode of these claws. And those do actually hold on to the M-IME versus the other ones that are clamped down flat so it can land. And as you see, it is lower than the helicopter normally is. And to help with the display, you do have a little support here, and this support also works in conjunction with the action base that is also included in this set. Let's see here, how did I have it set up? So as you see here, it is now mounted on that action base and looks more like a flying helicopter rather than a landed one. If you remember this was one of my previous reviews. This is the Brady Hound in 1/72 scale as well. And this one is particularly designed to work with the Stork carrier. So I'm going to put him in landing mode. I'll show you guys how that's done, and we'll go ahead and let them take off together. All right, so there he is underneath the Stork carrier here. It is a pretty precarious position with the base as high up as it is, but as you see, looks pretty cool there. You are supposed to use the deactivated eyes. I didn't do that. You're also supposed to use both of the knuckles, but I didn't do that either. So he is just chilling up there. The arms are sort of holding onto it. Most of the work is being done by that clear piece up there. That one holding the back of the M-IM up and plugging into the base of the Stork. But it looks really cool with them together. It is surprisingly, it works surprisingly well. I wish my floor thing here was level. As you see here, the moisture still has it warped. I need to fix that. But yeah, no, this is definitely a cool one. He can still use his gun according to the instructions. There's no reason why it couldn't. So I don't know why it tells you to take them off, but in the anime it actually shows him doing that. If you remember correctly, this one is an unmanned unit, so it is controlled by a manned unit or off of the scene with off of a base with a person controlling it. But from any angle, I think it looks pretty neat. Maybe like a fly catching something really big, but you know, I think that looks it's pretty awesome. And then you can still tilt the wingtips here, and it works even with the wings on the Brady Hound here. But it's definitely a cool look. I really like it, and yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Now, if you remember on the Brady Hounds review, I actually mentioned these being here for kneeling purposes, sitting purposes. That actually does help with landing down here when it is to be deployed. So that is something that you can do as well if you want to have a really cool diorama display with these guys down here like this, and him getting deployed and activated. It'd be really cool to see. I think that's a really nice look. Seeing him turn on and start to function would be a pretty cool display. And here, of course, we have the Brady Hound for Brad. Brad exclusive. Of course, it does function nearly the same as the normal Brady Hound, who is still right here. Hi. Just wanted to show that it is compatible with this one. I did have a little bit of trouble putting his arms up into the positions for those claws. But let's go ahead and go on to those last write-ups, and I'll tell you about that stuff. All right, and there's just a couple of them, but including the towing arms. It says these are mechanisms to tow the M-IM. They can be used to transport M-IMs belonging to the NAC forces, such as Brady Hounds, that have connectors compatible with these types of arms. It also tells you about the Gatling cannon. This is a 20mm Gatling cannon that is fixed to the lower section of the fuselage for air-to-ground and air-to-air combat. It can move up and down to adjust its angle of fire. And then the missile hatches. These are missile firing ports equipped on the sides of the aircraft. They can be used to launch missiles loaded into their arsenals. Not a lot, but I figured I'd read them just because it does have them there. But in case you thought this set was done giving you more and more, it actually includes some option parts for your Jogan, I think it's called, the Jogan Melees Jogan. And I will show you those in just a second. Let's see. So here we are. You actually get a backpack with 2 holsters. These holsters are compatible with a couple of the weapons from the Jogan, including, and not limited to, these here pistols that it does give you. They're automatic pistols for the Jogan, who does dual wield them in a fight, during which time I think he's fighting the Ghost. But I think it only holds 1 on this, unless I'm missing a piece. But yeah, I don't know. But the backpack is articulated, so you can move that all around. It's pretty cool. It holds at least 1 of the guns. I think there were 2 of these, but I might have lost 1. Gun came with a couple of stickers too, so it is a pretty nice looking little piece. And that does fit onto the back of the Jogan, or on the Melees Kenbu, I believe. It does come with a trigger hand because I think the Jogan only has 1 trigger finger on one side, so you'll get one for the other. And then it includes these, which are apparently, oh, there's the other piece. That's the other holder. These are apparently munitions dispensers. So it looks like they're weapons, and it says in the write-up that they're able to use multiple different types of ammunition. These can also mount to these arms made of these little guys, little ball joints, 3mm ball joints. You plug that in here, and then you can plug that on there. And that adds another level of customization for your Melees units. And I'm going to check that out to see if that works on the Kenbu, because I actually have that here. So let's see if that works. That is an affirmative. That fits on his backpack nice and square, so it seems that this will be compatible with all the Melees units. And that includes the, I think it's Byakuchi, the Jogan, the Kenbu like this one, and the Reiki. And it should be compatible with their second forms as well. I'm not sure, not 100%, because I don't have any of the second forms yet, but it should be. So with that, you'll see that this thing came with a lot more than its fair share of goodies. A lot more than what you might think is worth the price that you paid. I got this one on sale, so I got it for a little bit cheaper than you'd normally get it, but it is definitely worth the full price of $40, which is what it was MSRP'd at. I think if you really like this series like I do, it's definitely worth the buy. If you don't like the series, this is a really cool looking unit just for a background piece for your diorama displays or something like that. Now, it wouldn't fit with Gundams. I can bring them out for a size comparison and show you. They are 1/144, where this one is 1/72, so the scaling would be a little bit off. But if you don't know the difference, if you're just putting it in the background somewhere, you just want to make a forced perspective, something like that, it could work. I actually wanted to avoid doing a size comparison with the Gundams because it isn't exactly applicable, but here is a small high-grade Gundam next to this thing. Now, in universe, this one would be half the size because this is 1/144 and that is 1/72. So you would obviously see a size difference. But, I mean, you can make it work if you're clever. And I'm always about clever picture taking, things like that. This is a really nice looking unit, and I hope to see it in some display somewhere. And then some of the features on it, they're really cool. So I think it isn't something to just toss to the side because it isn't compatible with your Gundams or with your Hexagear, your 30-minute missions. It is a very unique looking craft, and I think if you're clever, you can use it for different types of things. I mean, I didn't see, like you see here, these are tabs instead of pegs, but you might be able to figure out a way to make this compatible with 3mm ports. Again, if you're clever, there's a slide right there. I'm not sure what that would be for, but if you drill, I think you can make some 3mm ports in there, and I think that would be really cool to see this thing really worked in a different and unique way. With everything else out of the way, I think that's going to be it for my review. It is a really nice looking unit, again, really worth the price, and I think if you see it on sale, definitely pick it up, and if you don't see it on sale, consider buying one anyway. It is a really nicely detailed vehicle with that modern military aesthetic. You can see here even the detail on the cockpit is pretty amazing. It's definitely something to consider putting in your collection, especially if you do have any of the NAC units. This would pair really well with them. I'd love to see it painted in different colors. That is something that I might do down the line if I try to customize this for use with 30-minute missions or other series that we have. I just don't want to see this thing go to waste because they did obviously put a lot of effort into it, and I do really like this anime. I thought it was really good, so I hope this one isn't slept on like a lot of really cool things out there are. But that's all I have time for tonight. Let me go ahead and let you guys go. I will see you guys next time, or you'll see me, but more than likely, you'll see my stuff. Bye-bye.